if you click on case classifications, the case classifications that have been used will appear. And in this case, that's the person classification that we've given to Margaret. This is an automatic or predefined classification, and under it we have name, sex, age group, occupation, country of birth and email address. Now we can use this as a basis and we can add other attributes. An attribute's a variable, and we can delete if we didn't want country of birth. We can just right click on that and delete. So you can play around with them, or you can use intact and just leave all the variables there, and if they're ones you're not so interested in, just don't complete them. The idea is the person classification is one that you're likely to need often, and so it's been made for you. At least one version of it's been made for you. So these attributes comprise the classifications for the person case. If you wish to delete or add to them, you can. And at the moment, we haven't actually entered any data about Margaret to that person case. We've just set up the classification sheet, but we've not filled that classification sheet in. For instance, we've not given the name Margaret, we've not said Margaret is female, or we've not said Margaret is in the age group 40 to 45, for instance. And basically it's like we're creating a mini closed questionnaire that we've attached to the Margaret transcript. What we will need to do is to give some responses to that questionnaire, of course, for it to be useful. So the next stage then is to set up the potential attribute values. So in this case, the example here, if we're looking at the attribute of age group, we choose that age group. So there's always unassigned and not applicable. Unassigned and not applicable will be the only values that you see unless you add your own potential values. So for instance here we might add 20 to 24, 25 to 30, 31 to 34, etc. That's up to you. You choose how many and what's appropriate for your data set. The default is unassigned. You have to add them by clicking on Add with the Values tab highlighted, and it's very easy to do. If you need any help, the link is above, and that would take you to the help from NVivo and tell you all about classifications and how to do this. So the person classification contains a number of variables that are called attributes. It's easy to add to the various attribute values that you want to work with. Just click on the attribute, in this case age category, then click on value and then click add. Keep adding values until you're done and click OK. So that's setting up the answers to the questionnaire about the people in the project. So a closed questionnaire, and the attribute properties are basically the answers, potential answers that we can click on and complete for Margaret. So we're now going to add value, assign a value to a classification sheet. So we'd start by opening the classification sheet, in this case the person classification sheet. And so far we've only assigned Margaret to have a person classification, so we just have the one row. All the values, all the attributes have an unassigned value at the moment. And if you want to change that and basically add in that information, e.g. to age group, we'd click on age group and then we'd be able to click on the appropriate age for Margaret. So open the classification sheet. To assign attribute values, right-click on the classification that you want to amend. Click on the attribute you wish to complete, then click on the appropriate value for the case concerned. So we might then click on age group, and then rather than saying unassigned, we'll click on, say, 21 to 24 if Margaret was in the 21 to 24 age group.